What's up, guys? Noam Lightstone here, coming to you from my condo in Thailand. And today we're going to talk about how passive income is bullshit and it's a lie. At least the way that most marketers sell it, and the way that probably most people watching this know it. So, passive income, what's the definition of it? So, it became popular really when Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek came out. And it's all about basically you set up a product and basically you don't have to do anything. You can sit on the beach. You drip pina coladas, you drink pina coladas, and you don't have to do anything, and money just comes into your bank, right? And whenever anything sounds too good to be true, usually it is, and that's because that's just not how passive income actually works. And actually, there's no such thing as passive income, but more like residual income. So you put in work beforehand, and then you get paid in dividends, as time goes on, but you still got to do some management and stuff. So the reason why I want to talk about this is, when I first started getting into entrepreneurship, just coming out of grad school and engineering, I was doing some basic freelance writing, but I had no idea how to really market myself or sell things. And the other thing was that I really wanted to do my blog at the time and just sell books and stuff. But the main thing was I was just like, I just want to get paid for doing nothing, right? I just want to sit on my ass and make money. And again, that's not really how things work. And of course, for anyone who's really goal-oriented, you're going to get bored of doing that after a while. But, moving to Vietnam, and I launched my first book and actually did pretty well. The launch was, I think, 1 to 2K USD, and that was with no marketing experience or no prior launches or anything like that. And then I was making about a K a month, and then it started going down to 800, 500, and so on and so forth, and then eventually went down to like $100 or something like that. And now that book specifically is at zero. But I was drawn in by the sexiness of just not having to do work and things working out. But again, that's just not how things work. So again, my first book launched well and it did okay and everything, but then it just started to go down to zero, and now that first book actually doesn't make any money. But what happened is that, I was publishing on my blog, and eventually I hit a viral topic. It was actually something I wrote, I think, 4 years ago. I broke up with a girlfriend, and I just wrote this article based on psychological theory about attachment theory. And so many people responded to it, and then I made a book on that, and now that book sells decently, and I make a few $100 of passive income off it, which is amazing. Like, I'm super grateful for it. But of course, I'd be broke if I was just, working off that. Most of my income comes from my marketing company, my email marketing and cold email company, Constant Client Systems. So let's talk about the actual forms of passive income, but it's more like, again, residual income. So residual income, I'll first talk about like content or info products. So you'll have a lot of people who are pushing info products, so like video courses or video instruction things, or just like membership sites, stuff like that. Those things are really powerful because you just create content and it just sits there, and then people just will buy memberships or buy subscriptions, and you don't really have to do anything else past at least making that initial content. But the thing is, to get that going, you're either going to need to push out tons and tons of content to get people going to it, or you're going to need to put in tons of money in terms of paid traffic, or both. So you either need a lot of time or a lot of money. So if you look at someone like Sean Ogle, whose info product is Location Rebel, he's been very public about posting that he makes about $250K a year, consistent, and he's not really trying to grow it that much because he knows it's going to be a lot more work. But if you look at what he did in, I think he's been running Location 180 or SeanOgle.com, whatever you want to call it now, for about 8 years. He was, on so many interviews. He was posting case studies. He was doing guest posts, all alongside doing his internship. Like, he was working like a dog to get to the point he is now. And I don't think he does pay traffic, but yeah, he had to put in a lot of work to get there. So to get an info product going, you either have to put in a lot of money and do something like pay traffic, where you have money to put into it, so that eventually you're putting in putting in $1 and getting $2 out, or you have to have a lot of exposure and content. So the second thing is, or the big thing that's going around, is dropshipping. Dropshipping is the savior, and it's going to make you rich. 90% of people, 90% of all businesses fail, but 90% of people in dropshipping fail, and that's because people try to go into an oversaturated niche, or they think that just because they take a course, it's going to work. I have a friend, his name is Brian, and I'll link a little blog post he wrote about how he was only making $1,000 from dropshipping, which is actually really great, and now he's making $30K plus. And he did it he had to invest thousands of dollars in ads to test things out, and he also was working crazy, like he wasn't sleeping for a few weeks when his Facebook ads started converting. And he told me he has to constantly test new products and find new products because products get hot for a while and then they just disappear. So he still has to constantly work, even though he's technically getting passive income. He still has to do tons and tons of research all the time, finding new products. Otherwise, his money is going to dry up. So again, you put in a lot of time in it first, and also again money. But then you just have to keep going. It doesn't end. Like you get some residualness and some passive income, but then you're going to have to just keep going. And then another big thing is something like FBA. So Amazon FBA. You can, get hot with a product, but then someone might scoop you, or if your brand's not strong enough, then someone might overtake you. Amazon could change their terms of service. So you can get really lucky with a product, which is great and good product placement, but if Amazon decides to take you out, if you're not constantly putting in new products so your brand on Amazon stays popular, if you're not pushing marketing, then that's one problem. But the other thing is, again, a lot of people get scooped. I have friends that I know who had great products, and then the product got knocked off by a Chinese supplier, and then no more money for them because they've got competition and people who are making the product for cheaper. And so a lot of Amazon FBA people will start trying to grow a brand off of Amazon. They'll try to get customers' emails from Amazon and use Instagram marketing and push people to a site that's off of Amazon. So they even move into something like dropshipping just because it's safer for them, because again, they're kind of at Amazon's will. So the whole point of this is that no matter what, you're going to have to put in a lot of work beforehand. Even if you have a lot of money to, say, blow on Facebook ads, you're going to have to test them and tune them. Even if you hire someone, you still have to do a lot of work, and it's going to take constant work. So even if you do get an info product going and you have paid traffic going, you're still going to have to do constant work to make sure your product is always the best in the market. So the work doesn't end. That's just not realistic. And there's things, again, like, say, Bitcoin management. So I know some people do Bitcoins where they buy and sell, and it's semi-passive because obviously you buy and you hold, and then once there's a spike or something you can sell. But again, active management, like, it all requires work and time and sometimes money up front and all this kind of stuff. So don't let anyone tell you that you can just plop out a product or something and you're just going to make money. It just doesn't work like that. And again, with all this stuff, there's really no guarantee that anything's going to work, especially with making an info product. I mean, you can do niche testing, so you can see if something's going to work or not by doing micro testing. So let's say you publish a few blog posts, see if any get picked up. And then if one of those blog posts go viral, then it's probably a good sign that you can make an info product on it. That's just like a minimum viable product there. But if you really want to make sure that you're less likely to fail, you should go into a service-based business. And I resisted this for a long time because I didn't want to be quote-unquote working for the rest of my life. So I wanted to be doing more of the stuff that I like to do, which is writing, exploring, and all that type of stuff. Like I like doing stuff. I like working, and I would be happy to write books, but I don't want to have the pressure of needing to pay my bills all the time. So I'm willing to work, but I want to figure out a way where I have done a lot of work beforehand so that it takes a bit of management, but it always keeps going. And again, it's more along the lines of residual income with a bit of management versus, just being like, oh, okay, whatever, it's passive and I don't have to do anything. So that's what service-based businesses and good businesses are all about, is you systemize your business, you automate it, and you outsource it. So let's say if you're a web designer, eventually you don't have to do the web design. You can template out and describe to someone else how to do that web design, and you can outsource it. You can outsource the project management. So there's like little parts to each thing. So project management, the actual design, the actual client communication, all that can be systemized and outsourced so that you have a business that's generating you money, but you don't have to do much of it. You can plop in to make sure you're putting in a few hours in there to make sure everything is okay, but you don't really have to do much of it. And that's kind of my focus now. So you can think of a lot of this stuff in multiple different ways. So there's the Tropical MBA 3-year rules. So first learn skills, 2 learn how to sell, 3 automate and outsource the business. Or Sean Ogle's, first is learn skills, second is build unsexy service business, third is do the more sexy stuff like passive income and affiliates. But again, it's just that there's no like magic pill. There's no like free lunch. So you either have to put in a lot of money or a lot of work and a lot of time. It just doesn't matter no matter what. Like there's no savior. You can't get out of doing work. And even if you find something that works, eventually it's going to end unless you are constantly putting in work. So if you get lucky with an FBA product, it's not going to last unless you make sure it's the highest quality and you're expanding your brand and all that type of stuff. So yeah, that's just some stuff. I'm sure it was a bit all over the place, but basically all I want to say is that the passive income that's put around a lot on the internet is just made to sell you something and made to sell you a bit of a lie that you can just sit on a beach and do nothing, because that's just not how it works. You can put in a lot of work and go from quote-unquote freelancer to more of a business owner with systemizing. You can do testing to create an info product if you're willing to put in money and willing to constantly reinvest and put in content. You can build a dropshipping store, but you'll eventually have to find new products and keep testing, and same with the FBA. But there are ways to get residual income and get income with spending less of your own time on things, but there is just no free lunch where you can plop something out and just wait for money to come and just do nothing. So that was just my little rant on passive income. So let me know what you think, and yeah, cheers.